And here we go with the Lions rebuilding franchise on Madden 17. How's it going, everybody? I'm on time right now. This is wild. It just hit 4 o'clock as I'm live. No one's late today. Maybe you are late and I'm not. We're switching things up here. Welcome everyone though to part 2 of this Lions rebuild franchise. We actually had a lot more fun than I expected back in the first episode last week. So thank you to all who enjoyed that first episode. Way more views, likes, and comments than I expected. The stream was exciting and a lot of you enjoyed this kind of new idea. The Teddy comments are rolling in. Alrighty. So, we are going to continue on with the Lions today, and I think that we're going to probably get close to the end of the season, if not actually end the season, which would make the next episode an off-season deal. But we'll see if we get that far. We're 3-3 right now, and things could go a lot better than we expect, of course. So why don't we spend a minute here just kind of recapping what's gone on while the stream fills up, and then we will be on our merry way. I saw someone put a message out there before I went live, though, because I mentioned I might be on time, and he was like, how are you going to be on time? Why wouldn't you be, like, something along the lines of, why wouldn't you be on time? You're already here. I'm usually here in the comments, but then, like, something might happen before I actually end up going live. I remember that last off season I did. I'm not slower than Peyton Manning. I would waste him in a foot race. That's no lie. But that last off season I did, I had some real tech issues beforehand. That was like 10 minutes of some real pressure. I had like over 1,000 people just sitting there waiting on me and wondering where the stream was. But eventually we got it going and everything was good to go. So, we're 3-3 right now with our Lions, and we focused a lot on a matchup last episode against the Packers, and we almost pulled this game off, but we gave it away at the end. The Packers had a great touchdown drive led by Aaron Rodgers, and they were able to hit Jordy Nelson for a tying touchdown, and then they scored another one, I believe, with Devontae Adams in overtime to defeat us. So, after Matt Stafford's injury, we've kind of recovered with Johnny Manziel at quarterback, but we're not getting the best defensive play. We got the first super chat in the form of Canadian dollars, it would appear, from Zach. Cracking open a cold one with Manziel. I hope Johnny can get things cleaned up a little bit and get back on the field, but we'll see if he's able to do that. 300 plus viewers now in the stream. A lot of people are talking about Madden 18 right now, and EA Play is right around the corner. I'm sure we're going to have things to talk about here on the channel. And you're wondering when I'm going to pick my team. It's always going to be in August when the game drops. That's a good time for me to go out there and gain more subscribers. That's what this lead up to Madden really is. It's all about getting new viewers in and growing the channel. This is the best time for a channel like mine to grow that focuses so much on one game, which probably isn't the best strategy, but you know, it's what I do. These are the games I play. What will my next Road to Glory be about? That's going to be a running back series on my second channel, and I'm not sure when it's going to start, but I would assume within the next month or so I'll be playing Road to Glory again, and that should be a really great time. By the way, I want to do a better job in this stream of getting to your questions and whatnot in the comments. I did not do a good job of that last episode, and I think that in my fantasy franchise, I lost track of that. So I want to do a better job of maybe not talking continuously and maybe do a little bit of listening on my own. Kane, you are the best. Greetings from Germany. Greetings from the United States. Okan? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I've not seen a name like that before. When will the next Kalispell video be? I'm hoping right now, Friday at the latest. Chargers on Thursday. I'll be working on Chargers tomorrow for sure. What's the issue with the Penguins losing 2 games against Nashville? You're asking the wrong person. You are definitely asking the wrong person. So we're going to spend our scouting points now with the Lions, and we're going to focus on... it might not be a bad idea for us to find quarterback. I mean, if you get the number 8 guy, it's still like a second-round prospect. So that's kind of my strategy, to go down the list and see how those players end up being. Greetings from Alabama, unfortunately. Greetings, Chris. Greetings from Wyoming. Man, we got people all over the place. I'm going to scout these quarterbacks. Ooh, Griffin Staten, not messing around here. Strong arm, 6'5", 227. That's a real good quarterback prospect right there. What do you think about simming only series? This is a sim series, but we're also going to jump into the game and actually watch some things play out. I'm not going to be controlling the team. I just control the roster and whatnot. I wanted the series with that kind of an experience, which might not be for everybody, but it's different, and I definitely want to have kind of a more GM approach and make it very player-focused. Wow, greetings from Hungary. I've been a sub since the Vikings days. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Another really tough name here. Bendigoos? I mean, I'm giving my best shot here, but sometimes your best ain't that good. Greetings from New York. Another New York. California. Haircut, Kane? Yes. It's like 80 degrees now every day. I had to get the haircut, had to shave because I'm really lazy when it comes to shaving. I like my hair really short. If I can wake up and I can even think about getting messy, that's how I know it's too long. I go half inch all the way around. I just keep it very simple. Super chat from 27 Super Yankees. Sano first and third base votes. Deserves it. He definitely does. Sano is having a really strong season, and I'm glad that it's not just turning into a popularity contest and giving that to Manny Machado, who has very mediocre numbers this year. Ben Kilgore says you should do something like Octodad again. Actually, there is part of Octodad I have not even played. They released some new content on there, and I haven't played it. I've seen a little bit of it, but I have not sat through it myself. I wanted to make sure that if I played it again, I was recording so that I would be able to do some more content on that. So I might bring that up. Tim, you're going to do a Crash Bandicoot series on the Let's Play channel. I don't know about a series. I am not even sure if I'll pick it up on day one because I'm just so behind on my backlog. Like, I'm not far through Horizon right now. I've yet to pick up Persona 5. So I can't really see me going to prioritize a game that's just a remaster collection. Although I only played one of the Crash games as a kid, and that was... whatever one is Cortex Strikes Back. That's all I remember because in the beginning it's like Crash Bandicoot, Cortex Strikes Back. I think something along those lines. And by the way, this is part of what I wanted this series to also be, very conversational. And we can kind of go off the rails a little bit, not have it be a big deal. So I'm going to simulate this week now. We have a game against the Washington Redskins. They're 4-2. And we're just going to sim through this. Who creates the NCAA prospects? You or Blackjack? Blackjack does all that on his end, and then he gives me the files, or his video recording. And we have to do some communication to make sure I can get the players exactly to my copy of the game. So Washington defeats us 34-10. Just an ugly game for us. Couldn't muster a whole lot of offense, especially on the ground. Manziel's picked off twice in this game, and Rob Kelly scores 2 times against us. We couldn't get a lot of offense going. Eric Ebron and Amir Abdullah kind of led the way there for us. And how about passes allowed? We got 4 for Levy, 4 for Whitehead, 4 for Darius Slay. So it must have been a better game for Nevin Lawson. Wasn't tested very much. Great Kalispell and Jay Stark's vids yesterday. Thank you. Those were 2 fun videos. And I've had so much fun with the content as of late. I think things are really getting into a good groove right now. And I've had a really good start to this year. I know we're almost halfway through. But I'm really happy with where things are at right now. Who's your favorite non-Madden YouTubers? When I'm looking just for some entertainment, I really enjoy watching the Dude Perfect videos. I really like what those guys do. I mean, What's fun to me is just watching people have a good time, and that's all they do on their channels. Is they just have a good time doing these random challenges and these trick shots, and it's such high production quality. Their videos are some of my favorite on YouTube, and I rewatch a lot of them because a lot of the trick shots they can pull off are really good. Let me scout some of this first round talent here that I may have overlooked. And I like going from this look because you can kind of see, like, if a guy is like the 15th best prospect, but like top at his position, you want to see like what his real stock is, which was what I would consider this to be. So why don't we scout these mid receivers? When can we start watching draft stories? We'll jump into that like right after this. Damn, wow. Andrew Waddle. 6'2", 211 with A- spec catch, B+ catch in traffic, and B+ release. That is nasty. That is super good. Wouldn't mind looking at some safety help. Okay, Craig Allison. Craig Allison here. CJ Wadij. That's a new one. Oh, if he can block. If he can block. We'll have like an O.J. Howard type of prospect, potentially. Kane, what kind of music do you like? It's been really hard for me since like high school to really define what kind of music I enjoy. I guess I kind of like a little bit of blend of like hip hop and pop because I like the beats, and basically the only reason I listen to music is to like get hyped up. That's the only purpose music plays for me. I don't want anything but like hype tracks. So yeah, whether it's rock, rap, whatever, if it can get me hype, then that's really all I look for. Who was your favorite draft prospects from your franchises? Definitely Lance Adams was probably the most gifted player that I've ever seen. He is basically a carbon copy of Randy Moss, only in Madden 15. Like, they really couldn't take full advantage of that because he didn't have, they didn't have the aggressive catch. They didn't have all the catch mechanics and the DB wide receiver interactions. So I don't think until Madden 16 that a receiver was really able to reach his potential if he was a big go-get-it type of receiver. Kane smashes chairs while hyped up. I don't get too wild. So what do we got for draft stories? Buck Pasco. That's a football guy name right there. Buck Pasco. Stonewall's fellow draft prospect Sullivan in 17-3 win. He's the #1 O-line pick according to Matt Miller. And then Princeton Mealy sets team record for tackles for a loss, tallying 6. Left end. I gotta write this stuff down. Lance, the aggressive catch, he would have been so good had I had him in the right game. And that's why I'm so happy I have Reggie Shepard, because I feel like it's a second chance, even if he's not quite like Lance. A little bit taller, not as fast. I'd compare Reggie Shepard to more of a Mike Evans, who has speed, but he's not like the fastest guy on the planet. Definitely above average. So I need to scout Buck, Pasco, and Princeton Mealy. By the way, I did start this stream right after uploading a Twins franchise video. I meant to upload it earlier, but I forgot. So I caught that the last moment, basically, to get that done. We're going to sim through the Texans game here. We're 3-4, and now we're going to be halfway through. Do you watch any other Madden YouTubers? Yeah, every now and then. I don't watch a lot of Madden content. I'll watch Swami, I'll watch, I like watching K-Spade, the prospect. IMAV, I really enjoy his content. He's just a positive guy and he likes to have fun. I really enjoy what he does. Blackjack doesn't do Madden, really, but I watch a lot of his content. 2 players have regressed. What do we got here? Taylor Decker goes down in pass block, allowing 4 sacks, and Dan Orlovsky gets hurt. Why is Orlovsky even seeing the field? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Is Johnny hurt now? Did you play football in high school? I played football in high school for just a year. I really didn't enjoy playing sports all that much, to be honest. I enjoyed playing baseball more than I enjoyed playing football, for what that's worth. Do you watch Flemlo Raps? I do watch some of his stuff. I like what he does with his storylines and whatnot. It's not like not like crazy cutscenes and whatnot, but he does a really good job, I think, at doing enough to get you invested. So I do appreciate what he does. Thank you for the super chat, Terrence Kieran. I remember watching Duke the Killer. I really enjoyed his Madden stuff. We're 4-4 now, as we did get the win against the Texans. I got to see what's going on here. So we scored 21 in the second quarter, and that's basically enough. As Manziel got hurt early. He only threw one pass. And then he got sacked, and then Dan Orlovsky came in, gets sacked 8 times, and Orlovsky gets the win for us, but Johnny can come back. So we're just finding a way to keep the hope alive for this season, basically. Whitney Merciless, 3 sacks. J.J. Watt, 3 sacks. At least we got some interceptions in there. 3 of them. So we have a couple games against the Vikings upcoming. It might not be a bad idea to at least sit through the second one. Probably not as much as we did in the Packer game, but that game was intense. It was really good. Who was your favorite player of all time in any sports? Oh, man. I probably have to be Randy Moss because the Vikings got me into sports, basically. Like, I probably had a different trajectory than a lot of you who got into sports and football. Jacob, thank you for the super chat. Go and get something nice with this. I will. I got into sports through video games, not the other way around. Like, Madden was my introduction to football, not football making me want to play a video game. I know it seems really backwards, but I just, my uncle was visiting one weekend, or sometime when I was really young. I was like 8 years old. Buck Pasco, he only C pass blocked, though. That's concerning. Princeton, I can't read my own handwriting. I'm so bad. Princeton Mealy. Oh, we already know that he's a beast. But I remember my uncle really enjoyed sports games. He had the NHLs, the NBAs, the Maddens. And so I sat down while he fell asleep one day and I played Vikings versus Titans. And I fell in love with the game. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to throw the football. Because back in the day, as Wes Stroud here is pretty good, but back in the day when you would play Madden on like PS1, when you snap the ball on offense, you have to hit X again to throw it. And I didn't understand that, so I just ran the ball the entire time. And I at least knew a little bit about football, because like I went into the settings beforehand and I like put it on rookie difficulty and I put on 15-minute quarters. And I played like a 3-hour game, Vikings and Titans, and I lost by like 20, but I set the rushing record with Robert Smith. And from that moment, like, I wanted to get Madden, and I got it then that Christmas. And that's when I kind of started watching the Vikings that year, which was the year that they lost to the Giants 41-0 in the NFC Championship game. So I got to learn what heartbreak feels like from a very young age. And I feel like that's helped me cope with the many disappointments that have subsequently impacted my life in the form of Viking football. You know, when Blair Walsh shanked that kick, nothing. I'm rock hard. I can take it. I'm not sure how much more I can take. That team is stressful. All right. With Deej. Oh, man, we got a receiving tight end. I bet he can't block at all, but that's okay. That's okay. I gotta spend 13 points now. Xavier Chambers. Minnesota sports don't seem to be the best teams to follow. I never really thought about it until many years had passed, just how many bad teams I had actually endured in my life. And I've seen far more losing seasons than playoff seasons with the Vikings. And I don't think I've seen back-to-back playoffs more than once since becoming a fan. Well, consistency has escaped this team, so we will need to find that first off. That being said, I think we will find it and get in the playoffs. We got to take a one-game-at-a-time approach. I mean, Johnny Manziel's our quarterback right now. I'm not going to come out here and promise you that you can go book your tickets to the Super Bowl, get your hotel reservations ready, get the tattoo, Detroit Lions, Super Bowl 50 champs or 51 champs. So let's sim through the Viking game here. We might go through the next one. Live NCAA 14 practice. That's actually a decent question or a comment. I thought about if there would be a fun way to stream some side content, maybe some optional stuff for the Chargers and Kalispell series, maybe even Twins, just for those who want a little bit more detail. And so I was thinking about maybe, you know, things like practice would be perfect because it's completely optional content if you want to go through and watch some of that. Wow, no one could pass the ball well in this game, but no one really threw the ball that much. Wow, they ran the ball over 40 times on us. I mean, I think Amir Abdullah must have gotten hurt or something. He only went 4 carries, 10 yards. Stephon Diggs with that 3.6 yards per completion or catch. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to have a little bit of side stuff. Like I saw what Blackjack was doing with his NBA series and really diving into those scrimmages that people were getting into and seeing those draft prospects. I think that's a really cool concept, and I love that idea. It's completely optional. If you miss it, it's not a huge deal, but if you do watch it, then it adds. So what are we going to scout this time around? Deron Slayton here from Clemson. That's not bad right there. Cedric Adams. Oh, if your name's Hawk and you play safety, you better get some picks. Late 5th round, though. Leon Blackburn. Not great. One thing I think that needs to be fixed in Madden 18 is we just need better draft classes. We need more promising players. I don't feel like that there are enough in these draft classes. There are a lot of pretty mediocre players. And I think that there should be some more players that are lower rated but have higher development. I feel like the players who all have like superstar and quick development are all players who are already pretty good prospects. But it would be interesting to get some more like, you know, 66 overall type of players that have superstar development and they're like 21 years old. I'd like to see that. Could we look at players who are negotiating contracts? Yes, we will do that. Could you do a road to the show on this channel? I don't want to do a whole lot more. I already have a lot of series going on my channels. But one thing I thought about doing, it's crossed my mind, is doing some Desmond Payne streams, potentially. The only thing I like scouting from the 5th round and beyond are pass rushers, because you'll find a lot that have like B+ power moves but are terrible everywhere else. But if you're a one-trick pony, you better be a pass rusher because you can get away with it then. I hate that there are never any elite offensive line prospects. I've seen a couple, but I can probably count them all on one hand, and I've gone through a number of these drafts. I'm sure others have gone through many more than I, but I know that I should be seeing more good offensive linemen than I am. And what the problem is there is that the NFL is just in a place right now where there is a lot more edge rush talent than there is offensive line talent to block it. So in the video game, Those young players, the Daniil Hunters of the world, the Vic Beasleys, they're developing, and there aren't enough young offensive linemen to counter them. And then the drafts, even more pass rushers, not enough blockers. Every year you go in franchise, the pass rush has an even greater advantage, if that makes sense. Been here since Madden 12 from UK. Love you, Kane. Thank you, Phil, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Does that make sense, though? There's too much pass rush talent compared to what can actually defend it. And that kind of sucks. And I also feel like there are a lot of good young receivers, and then in Madden, you're not getting the best cornerbacks anymore. 16, though, cornerbacks all over the place. But this year, cornerbacks a little bit lackluster. I like these more conversational streams. This is a good time. By the way, like this water bottle, I feel like I just like have a different water bottle every time I stream. I gotta go with the insulated water bottle now. I have no sponsorship. I wish I did, but insulated during the summer. Otherwise, you got like bath water after a half hour. That's no fun. Okay, let's go to the draft stories again. We got 5 now. Louisville's passing game has been on fire lately. I tried to do my best at not saying Louisville. I try to say Louisville, because I hear that is the correct pronunciation. Louisville's passing game has been on fire lately, and a lot of credit goes to receiver Andrew Waddle. Was that the really good prospect we scouted? I think it was. He's consistent. Marvin Dyson is too inconsistent. He's a quarterback. Let's go see Marvin Dyson quick. Can you make your streaming videos a little shorter? I don't think that they're a bad length. I know they're not for everybody, but I like streaming for like an hour to an hour and a half. I feel like it's a sweet spot. What are your thoughts on IMV Gaming trying to bring back college football? I hope that they are able to. I mean, I get this question a lot. If I've seen like their project or whatever they're doing with Gridiron Champions, and you can go check that out. I guess I'm more of a wait and see person when it comes to these kind of games. I want to see, you know, gameplay demos or some sort of working prototype or a proof of concept, and before I really get behind something and back it, especially, you know, I have a good deal of followers here on YouTube, and I don't want to necessarily endorse things that I myself can't believe in, and I think by default I'm just more of a skeptical person sometimes and very careful, so I don't usually, I very much wait and see. Where's this quarterback, by the way, from Bama? That I'm sure Chris the dog loves. Where is Alabama quarterback? Where's Marvin Dyson at? I could have swore it said he was at quarterback. I know I missed a super chat here. But if they are working to bring back college football, then I really hope they're able to. I wish them the best of luck. And, you know, I've gone to the website and whatnot, and I've seen, you know, the website looks solid. I mean, it doesn't look low budget or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't know a lot about what they're working on, but I hope that they're able to do it, because I think we all love college football games, and I'd love to see another football game out there to play. I can't find this guy. He was injured, or maybe you might be talking to someone else. Let me go to the super chat here. From Mongo5817. Time for redemption. There are 3 types of people in this world. Those who can count and those who can't. You got it right this time, Mongo. You did well. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I'm actually really skeptical overall about crowdfunded video games, and they can work, and they have worked. And one just came out, and that was the Friday the 13th game. I'm not saying this is a crowdfunding game. They tried to go the crowdfunding route, and now it looks like they're kind of going with maybe a more traditional approach. I'm not sure how they're trying to get funding now, but it's very grassroots, and I think that's great. but it requires a lot of transparency, I think, to get the trust of a lot of people, especially people who are willing to part ways with their money. So I hope that they can deliver something great, but I'm very much wait and see. I've supported a game before, and that was H-Hour Worlds Elite, which was a spiritual successor to SOCOM, the original SOCOM games on the PlayStation. I'm a big fan of, and you know, that was kind of a rocky ride, and I'm not going to get into the whole deal with it, but it definitely made me very skeptical about crowdfunding video games, because it's so hard to make a game in today's day and age, and it probably costs a lot more money than people expect, and it takes way more time than people expect. We got publishers like Ubisoft and Rockstar and others that just can't make a game on time. So when I see them not able to deliver, it definitely makes me wonder, when a small team is trying to go on a big project, what can they do? Wow, the Cowboys just benched Dak Prescott. So if they're trying to make a football game, I really hope that they can deliver. And if I feel like I need to support it, if it looks like they are delivering something very cool, then I would probably be on board with talking about the game a little bit. I'm missing so many comments on here. There's a lot of good stuff in here too. How did you get the red dot in the title? I had to find it somewhere, and then I just like copy and pasted it so I would have it to put there whenever I go live. I do think that red dot brings in viewers, because I've streamed before forgetting it and the numbers were lower. If you're doing live streams, get that red dot in your title and it'll probably help you out. Alright, let me actually scout some of these players. I'm getting a little bit sidetracked in the comments, but I don't mind about that. Got some good power backs in here as always. I prefer to scout the ones who aren't so powerful, because they tend to not be so fast, and there's just so many of them. Mike Wall, undrafted. Will you ever bring back Blitz the League? I'm definitely not done playing that game. As far as like a series goes, not sure that's likely. Ooh, really good prospect here, Darian Luckett from Ohio State. MrHurriicane, you inspired me to keep my Madden series to keep going, because I usually just play it for a year in the game and quit. Thank you so much for inspiring me. I've gotten comments like that quite a bit. Thank you. But I think one thing I've definitely shown throughout my years here making this content is how much fun you can have in this mode when you really get into it. I'm very different when it comes to video games, and I didn't realize that for a long time. But a lot of people enjoy gaming for stuff they can't experience, in real life. And for me, I look for immersion almost solely. Not just that. There are plenty of games like, you know, Ratchet and Clank, one of my favorite series of all time. Very not realistic. But when it comes to sports games, like, I just want that full-on immersion, and I try to do my best to create these fun experiences. And that's kind of the way I thought what these games were for. Like, this was how I was doing things when I started playing. Like, I had to, you know, there was a transition period to get to, like, this mindset I have around these games. Back when I used to be starting up my Vikings franchises and trading immediately. I'd control both teams. I'd trade Dante Culpepper and Robert Smith for Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk so I could go win the Super Bowl. And it didn't work. Because I remember once I went to the playoffs and my uncle made me play the Super Bowl on Pro, and I couldn't do it. I lost to the freaking Raiders. I couldn't beat them. So we got the Vikings now in week number 12. And I want to actually spend some time in this game, as we just wrapped up a 34-11 loss against the Jaguars. I remember a lot from those old games, though. They're quite memorable. But this is the kind of gaming story I get into. I know it's kind of there's not like a real narrative to it, but if you just like following sports and teams and players, and how is Chad Henne throwing 5 touchdowns and 3 hundo on our defense? We gotta get some help. We gotta get some help out here. But yeah, like, I have a really tough time getting into stories in video games. Like, there are a number of games where I'm just like so bored as I play. And I just can't get into the stories. And it's really the more, like, this is an example. I'd have a lot more trouble getting into a Mass Effect style story just because of the setting and the way they talk. Same thing with games like Skyrim and Dragon Age sometimes. Like, I just don't speak fantasy role-playing. So half the things they say I can't get into. I have trouble getting into the characters. But when it comes to, like, this or MLB, I'm all in. No problem there. Now, there are plenty of game stories I do like the Uncharted's, Last of Us. But it takes something that's really, I enjoy the more cinematic games. At least, like, cutscenes. Like, one thing I can't stand is, like, open world games where it's just, like, you in the world talking and there's no camera of everybody's face or anything like that. There's no production to it. It's just talking. Can't stand that. I like cutscenes that have angles and whatnot, so I'm all about those kind of stories. Trying to find some secondary help. Will I find it? Probably not. There we go. There we go, Rashad Finney. That's a pretty good safety prospect for a 3rd round. Do you like Overwatch? I do like Overwatch, although I haven't played a ton of it. It's not a game I got deep into, but it's a game that I really appreciated. My main problem with Overwatch was that I hate the modes. I don't like the modes at all. I started playing online shooters fairly young, and my first games really getting into it were SOCOM, SOCOM's 1, 2, and 3, Combined Assault, and then Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. And so I really got into, like, One Life Only on tactical games. I got really into, like, Capture the Flag from Ratchet and Clank. They had a great siege mode on there where it was, like, a base here and a base here, and everybody's defending their base. And it was so cool. And now you got, today, most popular mode in any game you play is freaking Team Deathmatch, basically. And that's so boring. I remember, like, on SOCOM and, well, SOCOM was a little bit different, but like Ratchet and Clank, ain't no one playing Team Deathmatch back in the day. I can't believe it's the most popular mode now. It's just mindless. It's not fun. The golden age of online shooters was a while ago. I feel like now we're just in a more generic territory. Some good games, but like I don't feel like the individual games have as much exciting action. At least for what I'm looking for. Maybe it's not the same for you. Especially if you didn't grow up with other games. So I want to watch some of this game. I want to see what the 9-1 Vikings look like here. Old man Kane yells at Cloud. I know! That... I still sometimes feel like I'm still like 18 and I'm still like a young buck out there, but no, I'm 24 years old and I'm starting to yell at clouds and I'm a little bit more get off my lawn type. It like happened overnight. Do you play COD? Not often. I used to love Call of Duty. Now it's more of a love-hate relationship, but it pretty much is for everybody. Infinite Warfare, no. I don't like the map flow with the booster pack, jetpack thingies, so that's kind of killing it for me. Modern Warfare Remastered, fun, but it's not the Modern Warfare I want to play. I want to play Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, Overwatch mainly escort a payload or King of the Hill, and that's not what I want. I love the class-based approach to it. I love the characters, really well fleshed out. Love the art style of the game, but the modes are not for me. Alright, let's skip part of this here and get into the action. Oh, we got alternates. Alternates. The Gaming Sergeant says that he's gotten 13 of his friends to subscribe to you. Wow, thank you. Appreciate the love. Alrighty, we got 581 viewers in here, 151 likes. Can we get some likes in here? Can we get the 250? Our defense is awful. Score predictions for this Vikings game. I'm going to say Vikings win it 34-17. If a first-person VR football game came out, would you play it? Yes. I'd also even go get one of those like omnidirectional ball things that you can like run on. You ever see the guy playing like Team Fortress with that? I'd get that. I'd just be standing there getting one heck of a workout. I'd be jacked. I sometimes think about like if we really had that VR and like you could easily get those like little balls you like run on. Just like we'd have the most fit gamers in the world. Yeah, theoretic. Imagine playing Battlefield. It'd be like cross-country running. And I'm not an endurance runner, so I'd have to quit playing Battlefield. I've always been a short-distance sprinter with very little in the tank. I remember, like, I had a friend who ran, like, track, and he ran, like, the 2 mile, I remember that. I'm just like, you gotta be downright insane to willingly run for 2 miles straight and not be paid, like, a lot of money. Because I know I couldn't even do it. Even, like, you know, I played sports, and I, you know, should have been in, had to have been in decent shape. I can't run distance. They're just running the ball down the field. They got 75 in a chunk, and now they're just going to hit the field goal from 21. We're going to watch some of this game, by the way. We're going to jump in at times. I'm just kind of getting through this opening quarter. A lot of you think the score might be a little bit closer or a victory for our Lions here. As we get stalled here and we punt it back to Minnesota. Remember when Bradford choked on Thanksgiving? Yeah, that pick caught by Darius Slay was not too good. I'd say that Sam Bradford still had a very good season, especially when you look at the circumstances he was under. Look at Cordero Patterson, because his name doesn't fit. Getting 2 big catches on this drive, and touchdown Adrian Peterson. I run 6 miles at least every day for cross country in the summer and fall. I can't imagine. That's great. Some of you are distance runners. Our team sucks. I could never run distance. I can make it from first to home. Oh, Ziggy Ansah gets a sack here, and they hit a field goal, 20-3. So we need to get some points here before the half, and I want to jump in if we can. Hopefully we get a little bit further down the field. I do remember the Tony Bruno show on Madden. I remember listening to that back in 05. A pick and an injury. Can someone tell me how Abdullah gets hurt on a play that was picked? Blocking and someone ran him over? So the Vikings looking to get their 10th victory on the season, I think. I'm with you, Kane. Sprints all day. That's way more fun to me. Man, we're just going to get absolutely blown out in this game. We'll join them in the second half, though. We'll watch a couple drives. Let's, Kai Forbath kicks it. Okay. I want to join them now. Because we're down 24 points. Oh, it's, this is Color Rush? This would be a Thanksgiving game, so this would be Color Rush on every Thursday, I guess. He tried tackling Rhodes. That could be it. That really could be it. And now Clay Harbor with a penalty. Like, what more can go wrong in this game? We are doing off-season tonight, right? We're not going to make it that far. Not quite that far. Thanks for stopping by, Bengal. Nice to see everybody here chatting, and I didn't see a lot of your comments, Bengal, but I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for the well wishes. 27 Super Yankees sends a super chat. Flagged for showing murder. Yeah, this game ain't going too well. I think Abdullah came back in the game, though. Here's 2nd and 15 for us. How do you put coach mode on? I have to go to the main menu, I think, and put that on. It's not on right now. This is just the slow simming in the super sim function. Amir Abdullah just not getting a lot of carry. Yeah, no off season today. I want these streams to be about an hour to an hour and a half long. Today is probably gonna be more like an hour and a half long stream. Is this regular or preseason? This is regular. We're in like week 11 right now or so. We're 4-7, I believe, as Manziel threw this a bit too late. So why don't we jump out and maybe we'll catch some defense at some point. Who do you think is going to win the 3rd receiver for the Vikings? I'd lean toward Michael Floyd. I think it'll be Thielen and Diggs 1-2, and then I think it'll be Floyd. Although I have high hopes still for Laquan Treadwell. I really like Treadwell coming out of Ole Miss. I know that he has trouble separating, and that's a big part. Getting open is kind of an important aspect of this game we were playing, but I still think that he can be a productive possession receiver, but he's got to improve his route running, and he's got to find a way to create space. And if it's not going to be through speed, then he's going to have to get more technical in his game and not rely so much on just winning physically. Sliders, I'm on default All-Pro because the computer is just playing the computer, and I think default All-Pro does a pretty good job at that. Maybe not perfect, but I hate messing around with sliders, I tell you. It's my least favorite thing to do on these games. I have a lot more fun getting blown out in a game than I do just working with sliders. But I feel like they're getting a lot better at making default a better football experience. I do think Madden is going in the right direction. And I do think that a lot of progress has been made since they jumped to this console. I mean, if you go and look at Madden 25 on this, and the player locomotion was so off. They couldn't even, like, stay in bounds, go up the sideline very cleanly. I think the game's gotten a lot better in that time. Peterson gets shut down here. That's a nice play there by Tahir Whitehead, who might be a player that we can continue to build around. Do not allow anything on this 2nd and 22. Doesn't 12-minute skew play count? When I did 10 minutes, I was getting around 109 plays a game. And I'm looking to get about 120. And I do a lot of simming, so the simming changes a lot of it. So I think 12 gives you a very good amount of plays. What happened to Stafford in this series? In the 2nd game, he tore his Achilles and is out for the season. No! 3rd and 19! Touchdown! Stephon Diggs! Normally, I'm very happy about that, but not right now. Was that Nevin Lawson? I think that was Nevin Lawson. Man. 3rd and 19. Gets around him. Bradford connects. Touchdown. I wish they had Diggs shovel celebration in here. So what I say, 34-17? I got the 34 part down. But a lot of time left. Yeah, Nevin Lawson is a player that we've got to replace. We've got to get someone more reliable out there, especially at starter. Maybe he can try nickel or something. Oh, a fumble recovered by Harrison Smith. I'm not sure if that was Amir Abdullah. That's my first instinct, is to blame Amir Abdullah. Who I don't think had fumbled yet. He's got 3 fumbles in this game. It's over. We got to take him out. I didn't know he had 3 fumbles. I'm sorry, Amir. It's just not your day. Amir was a fun player to watch, though, at Nebraska. I loved watching him ahead of that draft. Do you watch college football? I watch some. I want to watch more. And I hope this year I can get more into it. I at least want to watch kind of like the main games of the week that are in like prime time and catch some prospects before draft season begins. Just getting run on all day. Kerry Hyder with the penalty. Touchdown Adrian Peterson, 41-3. Do a superstar series on Madden 08. I don't even remember really how good those old superstar modes were. Someone got hurt. I think it was Theo. Not Theo. Theo Riddick. We had 5 turnovers. Go get a touchdown now. So you want to watch Bama games? I actually don't like watching Bama that much. Just because they pretty much steamroll everybody. Not all the time, but I prefer watching teams that are maybe just entering the top 25 or are having a better season than normal. After this drive will sim to the end as we get Anquan Bolden for a little bit of yardage, and it wasn't enough. Y'all aren't thinking of punting, are ya? Right? A field goal. Okay. Here we go, guys. 59 yards here in Ford Field from right hash. Bang. Got it. 41-6. The highlight of our day is right there. All right. Let's get to the end. Vikings won by a lot more than I thought they would. And they're just going to keep feeding Adrian, I think. So, sim faster. Game over! Jim Caldwell showing some emotion here. Only time Kane's not happy about a Vikings blowout. Pretty much. Pretty much. What about the Florida Gators? I loved watching them when they had Percy Harvin and Tim Tebow. I saw that Malik Zaire committed there. Is he able to play next year, or does he have to wait a year? I'm not sure all the rules, because there are some contingencies where if this happened, then you can play this year, or whatever. Usually, though, you got to wait a year. We need Joe Bennett and Greg Kelly. Man, Minnesota Dynasty throwback. There's some phenomenal players there you listed. All right, can we skip this? "96 yards for Johnny. It wasn't his best game. Adrian Peterson, 44 carries, 269. I wish they wouldn't run like 19 times in a row here. He can play because he graduated. He's just going to go grad school. Okay. Excellent. He's a grad transfer. I just want to get a picture for a thumbnail, and these jerseys are pretty solid, so yeah. And I would prefer to get maybe a Darius Slay this time around. Slay didn't get beat on this play. I'm assuming he's matched up against Cordero here. That is not Slay. He's here against Thielen. Just want to get a decent clip for the thumbnail. And I gotta go to this side because otherwise my head will get in the way of it. These are really nice uniforms. I like what the Lions did in real life with their new uniforms. They got a really underrated set, I feel. And if the Lions were just a better team, I think people would appreciate their uniforms a bit better. What did you think of the Dalvin Cook pick? I love the Dalvin Cook pick for Minnesota. It was, to many, a first-round talent they got in the second round. It gives them some really high upside for the backfield. He's a threat from anywhere on the field, and I think that's really important for this offense to get a little bit more explosive and to have that in the backfield again. Vikings now 10-1. And I think that he's definitely going to help out in the passing game as a receiver too. What is your most wanted thing in Madden 18? That's a great question. My most wanted thing in Madden 18, number 1. Man. That's tough. I'll have to come back to you on that one. Is it possible to fix the fatigue for Sim? It's very unrealistic to have halfbacks running on 6 or more consecutive plays. I'm not sure if there's much I can do. I can see if there's anything on Operation Sports about this, but I don't think I can do a whole lot. So we're into week 13 now. We're going to do scouting quick, and then I'll get to the negotiations. But as far as the number one thing I want in Madden 18, The Last Advance says most wanted thing on Madden 18 is Mahomes. Yeah, I'm excited to see a quarterback get a chance to develop again. I feel like that hasn't happened in a long time. I feel like you got to go back to... Well, Tyrod Taylor got to develop for a whole rookie contract. And now Jimmy Garoppolo is getting developed. But Garoppolo has not become a starter yet. And Tyrod had to go to another team to be a starter. So seeing a team groom a player to be their starter just doesn't happen that much. They usually get thrown in right away, which is fun because it's chaotic and funny. But Mahomes is so talented that if... And he is in the right situation, I think, with Andy Reid. So it's going to be fun. Preseason is going to get exciting for the Chiefs. That's probably the most exciting team to watch in the preseason, just to see how Mahomes does. Maybe not the most exciting, but it's up there. Mahomes is the type of player that you want to watch, maybe as your quarterback, but that also might get a little stressful, just his play style overall. I gotta check out this Alabama fullback. Someone mentioned that he was the fullback. Okay, he's pretty good. But apparently he had the negative draft story. Tony Romo has been benched, and they put Dak Prescott back at quarterback. What's going on in Dallas? Chiefs have, like, no plays past 15 yards, so it doesn't make sense to me. Well, how about when you think back to what they were able to do, Andy Reid in Philadelphia with Donovan McNabb, Jeremy Maclin, Deshaun Jackson. It wasn't a dink and dunk offense then. I mean, when you have a quarterback, you got to play to that quarterback's strengths. That's the most important player on the team. And for Alex Smith, he is a consistent, accurate thrower at short and intermediate range. And they couple that with good defense. You'll see a lot of teams that don't play aggressive offense because they have a defense that doesn't require them to get aggressive. Like, as Roderick Downing here finishes with 11 picks. Idaho State's defense? Roderick Downing. I gotta check that out. But I mean, when you have a bad defense, you can't have a passive offense because you're not going to be in any games. You can get away with dink and dunking, just trying to get to the sticks, playing slow, when your defense is only allowing, 20 points here, 17 points, 12 points. And KC's had a good defense. So it's a puzzle that works, but it's a puzzle no one really likes. Roderick Downing. C pluses everywhere. Why don't we check on the contract negotiations here? What players do we have expiring this offseason? Larry Warford's a big one. He wants a pretty sizable contract. Anquan Bolden, definitely not going to look to re-sign him. Garrett Reynolds, potentially. Kerry Hyder, maybe. I'm not sure, at near $5 million a year if I'm on board. Josh Bynes, Raphael Bush, Riley Reef, going to let him walk, although he's pretty cheap. Tyron Walker, Clay Harbor, Andre Roberts, Devin Taylor, Tim Wright, TJ Jones. I'm not seeing a lot of consequential players. These are a lot of players who aren't even starters. So Warford is the most key. And he's a rock solid player at 25 years old, so he's the type of guy you want to keep around. He can still ascend a good bit. I'm not going to make an offer right now to anybody, but a lot of you wanted to see what this looked like here. Let's check on stats right now and see how things are looking. Manziel, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. Orlovsky has 6 touchdowns and 3 picks. Amir Abdullah, 3 fumbles now in that Viking game. Zach Zenner with 6 touchdowns. Receiving, Golden Tate leads us in receptions, or touchdown receptions, and yards. Marvin Jones, 433. And defensively, Ziggy Ansah might have a double-digit sack season, but he needs a little bit more help there. He can't do that alone. Catches allowed. Tahir Whitehead, Nevin Lawson. Slay's also allowing a lot, but deflecting a lot more and getting picks. Slay's obviously not going to go anywhere, and I'm pretty sure he has the big contract. Yes, he does. And it's actually not even that big. That's very team-friendly. Is this being posted once it's over? There will be an unlisted link once it's processed, and then I will formally make it public probably tomorrow afternoon once I get thumbnail ready and set it all up. But you'll be able to watch this when it's over, yes, through an unlisted link that I'll share on Twitter. Can we get some more likes in here? 559 of you watching. Can we get to 300 likes? We're only 65 away. 65. 4-8 Lions up against the Bears. Wow, the Vikings are 11-1 and the Packers are 10-2, right behind him. By the way, how are our injuries looking? Just Corey Robinson and Matt Stafford. Going back into scouting. Definitely better draft classes are on my wish list for Madden 18. I like that B route running, but the hands might be a little bit suspect. Let me find some pass rush help. Casey Clem. I got the finesse moves at high 70s. I've scouted a ton of defensive tackles because I'm trying to get some more interior pass rush and get ready for life after Haloti Nada. A super chat from Broken Arrow. Thoughts on Dobbs being groomed by Big Ben? I like Josh Dobbs. He's a fun player. Really fast. And he's actually... he's got a pretty strong arm, too. And... you know, I kind of compare it to like when the Vikings got Joe Webb. Although I think Dobbs is a lot more polished. And isn't he like an aerospace engineer? Like, that's pretty cool, too. So yeah, I want to see some Josh Dobbs option in the preseason for sure. Have you ever played Rocket League? There's a huge update coming. I have like 50 Rocket League videos on my second channel, which, by the way, if you haven't checked that out yet, MrHurriicane LP, my second channel, which has turned into a sports channel as of last year. And I do a lot of other series there that you may enjoy. If you like Road to the Show, I got a series there. Got some really cool stuff. This might be kind of petty, but I want Madden to bring back coin toss. Yeah, I kind of just like the coin toss to be back as well. I'd also like the ability to select your captains and see them at midfield. One thing I definitely like for presentation is I like better pregame stuff. I'd like to see team intros. And I'd like to see them focus more on players and flash some more stats. Like, if, for instance, Julio Jones last week had a big game. Show Julio getting in the pregame, running some routes or making a couple catches. Be like, last week against the Saints, because they'd probably allow a lot of yards to him. Julio Jones, 7 catches, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just show something like that. You know, or if a player had like 3 sacks the game before, show him getting in some work before the game starts. Man, at least that winning streak, or the losing streak is over. We got the win here against Chicago. Pulled off the upset. 24-13, and our defense actually played a solid game. They picked off Brian Hoyer, although it is Brian Hoyer. Tony Romo equals J.R. Battle. I think J.R. Battle equals Carson Palmer. Pocket passer, big arm. Amir Abdullah gets 80 yards and a touchdown for us. We shut down the running game decently. Alshon Jeffrey only gets 55 yards. Darius Slay doing his job. And I'd have to say that Nevin Lawson did as well. Cam Meredith held to 26 yards. Or Eddie Royal. I'm not sure who he would have covered. 75 and a score is not great. Do you think Jameis Winston can really make a reasonable run for MVP this year with the new offense? I don't think that's unreasonable, honestly. I think he can have a really big season. That offense is awesome. And it's not just getting Deshaun Jackson. It was also going out to draft Chris Godwin. I like Godwin a lot, and I wanted the Vikings to draft him, but of course they didn't. Godwin is really solid. He's really good at tracking the deep ball. He's got blazing speed. He's polished for a speed guy. A lot of speed guys come in as, you know, just the speed guy. But no, he's a real complete receiver. I think he went around too late. And they got O.J. Howard. Man, that team is filthy. So, yes, I would say that Jameis Winston could have a Cam Newton-esque MVP caliber season. If Winston can go out and throw 1,000,000 yards and, like, you know, 35, 40 touchdowns, everybody... The media loves the player who's ascending, and Cam Newton had his breakout year statistically. If Jameis does the same in terms of just like getting those big numbers and leading his team to big victories, and I do think Jameis Winston, when it's all said and done, well, when Jameis Winston hits his prime here in a few years, or, you know, sooner, I think that he'll be a top 5 quarterback potentially. And now with the pieces in place, that could definitely expedite things a little bit. Jameis is going to be really solid. I say solid too much, but solid is a solid word. It means good, but it's a better word than good. I feel like solid is like a synonym for above average, but solid sounds better. Running out of players I want to scout. It's more fun once you get to the combine and you can start seeing the speed and the strength and agility scores. Let's skip this game here. We're 5-8. Do you play fantasy? If yes, do you plan on doing a custom league with your fans? I mean, it would be fun, but I can only include a very small number of you if I do a fantasy league. And I do play fantasy football. I'm in a couple leagues, and I play daily fantasy a lot. I play it for more than just football. More scouting to do here. Let's scout tight ends. I'm not sure if Ebron is really our future, but we got some receiving options. This is a nice little class, I feel. Well, we've seen 2 good receiving tight ends. Let me pump the brakes a little bit. Ooh, D-catching. That's pretty bad. All right, DeMarco, I see you. Decent. Not solid, but decent. Alrighty, those points are spent. We got the Lions here in week 16. I do want to spend some time in week 17, which is our season finale, of course. It's against, oh, it's going to be against the Packers again. So would you guys rather see some of this game and then we sim the Packer game, or sim this game and go back to the Packer game again? We already saw them once, and we've only played through 2 games in here. So maybe a different team would be better. And then we'll be to the off season basically, and then next stream will be our first off season here. Do you think Madden will ever try to make the game less arcade-like and more realistic? I think it's already on that trajectory, to be honest. I think we're seeing that with the improved pass rush, and I think that we've seen that with the coverage abilities. I'm sure the coverage techniques, basically, like hard, flat, soft squat, vertical, the vertical carry stuff from cover 2. I think that that's all working toward a lot more realistic game. See this game? Okay. Let's jump in. Lions, Cowboys. Hey, we got to 300 likes. Awesome. Monday prime time. And if you guys do enjoy this series, this would be something I'd definitely like to do on Madden 18. I think this is kind of fun. Maybe not as in-depth as my main franchise, which is going to stay the way it is, that kind of formula. But this is something else that really doesn't take a lot of time at all. I mean, one of these streams lasts the length of a game that I play with my Chargers franchise. So this is a very different experience, more GM-focused and fast. And we don't really go deep into these series very often, so it's fun to maybe have the potential to get, you know, a handful of seasons down the road and see how things really unfold when you get further into franchise. So we're going to watch some of this Lions-Cowboy game. Oops. I guess I'm kicking here. I didn't mean to do that exactly. If we stay at 5 wins, I think we should have a top 10 pick. I think that's about right. I think we'll have a top 10 selection, but I'm not sure what's the best need we can kind of take care of at that spot. So we're going to join once someone gets into the red zone first and foremost, as Des Bryant comes out with a nice catch. And then 5 yards there to Zeke. 11 to Jason Witten. 5 more. And it's time to jump on in on this opening possession. Kane looks like he's 6'4". You are so incredibly kind. Or 5'10" on a good day. Here's Dak Prescott. Oh, pick that! That was risky. Big play Slay, gotta make that. There is the Cowboy offensive unit. What do you think Jordan Howard will do this year? I believe in Jordan Howard. I think he's got good vision and quickness. Good. I think he's got good quick feet too. As Zeke here gets stopped, I think Howard's going to be pretty solid. That's a cop-out answer basically. But I think he'll be very productive. And I think it's a good idea to have another back there that can get some touches. But Howard can, he's a good receiving back in addition to being a smart runner. And we saw that against the Vikings in both games. And the Vikings games with him were so good. That first one came out of nowhere to me. I wasn't really on the Jordan Howard radar before that. So on third down, Dak Prescott steps up. He's got a bailout to his outside option, and Beasley is taken out of bounds. So Cowboys will settle for a field goal on this possession. Howard should have made the top 100 instead of Adrian Peterson. Yeah, fair. I can't stand the top 100. First of all, I think the defense of it is usually, it's supposed to be the top 100 players for 2017, you know, this year. Well then, what are you basing that on? Assuming players come back from being injured and are the same guy? I mean, what's the point of having Adrian Peterson drop all those spots? What's the point of having J.J. Watt drop all those spots? Do the top 100 players of last season. Okay? It makes so much more sense. Then we can stop lying to ourselves about this whole, oh, it's the top 100 players for this year. Yeah, that's why there's no rookies on it, right? That's why Myles Garrett's not on there, right? Picked off by Orlando Scandrick. Yeah, the top 100 is just, it's just filler content for the NFL Network. That's all it is. And I don't watch it, but I hear about it because it gets talked about. Hey, even J.J. Watt today, I saw his tweet and I retweeted it. He was saying that the top 100 is a joke. Because it is. Alfred Morris here getting plenty of work. Oh, come on, Haloti. What down is it? Third down and 2? Okay, let's watch some more of our defense here against the Cowboys. Yep, Levy got hurt. I'll have to check the injury report and see what that's all about. They ran that. Alfred Morris. First down. And the top 100 is very reputation based, just like the Pro Bowl and anything where, well, I guess the fans are picking the top 100, but I feel like it's almost the same outcome as if the fans had did it. Out for game, hit pointer. Whereas Zeke will miss a quarter himself. Oops, let's join him. Forgot about that. Wanted to see some more of this defense. Here's Dak to Morris again. Fumble. Let's go. Take that back. Tahir Whitehead on the recovery. And Morris is now shaken up. Okay. So is that Ansah who crushed that football free? Ziggy Ansah has 8 sacks on the season, and that was an awesome hit. Let me get out of this. Let's watch that one more time. Ezekiel Ansah. I believe, that, unless I gave the credit to the wrong guy, but I did not. It was Ansah. You didn't block him. That was your first mistake. So, no Zeke for the rest of the half. No Morris. We're only down by 6. Let's watch some offense now. Do you guys think the Warriors are going to sweep the playoffs and win the next 2 games? I have not watched because I don't even have ABC. I got everything else I need for sports, but I do not have ABC. And I'm not about to go on my way to get it. so I have not watched any games. I wanted to. Nice throw, Johnny! Golden Tate. That was nice. I saw Durant, though, his stat lines over the first 2 games. He could be on his way to Finals MVP, which I know Twitter will not lose their minds over because they went from hating LeBron so much to now just hating Kevin Durant and the Warriors. Look at Amir, tough running. I like it. This is fun. I just get to kick back and pick apart my team here. Second down for Johnny Manziel. They give this off to Amir again. Oh, man. That Jeff Heath. That was a phenomenal play. Third down, though. How don't you have ABC? Just get an antenna. Where the heck am I going to get an antenna? Manziel checks it down to Theoretic. We cannot get the conversion. I don't have like a traditional cable package. I got a PlayStation View. And I just don't have... Oh, they're going to punt. I don't have ABC. I got ABC On Demand, so I can watch whatever shows they have. We faked it, and we didn't get it. We got some guts, though. But if we're just going to go for it, how about we just bring out our offense? Okay, so who's their running back now? Who do the Cowboys bring in at tailback? Is it McFadden? Sure is. Kane just go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't feel like going to get $10, $15 wings. You know how quickly the guilt sets in? 15-yard penalty there. Why don't we watch some more of this? I'm having fun with this game. Use PlayStation View and watch ESPN? I could probably do that. I used that to go to USA's on-demand deal so I could finish up watching Suits, because on Amazon Instant Video or whatever, I could only watch the first 5 seasons through Prime and not the 6th. But I found a way. Dak Prescott 3rd and 10. Outside here, and we get the stop again. So our defense, man, you got to give them credit for how they're playing in this game. But you can't win with one side of the football. Actually, you can. There was a game a long time ago. I think it was Texans and Steelers. This was mid-2000s. And I'm pretty sure the Texans won with like less than 100 yards of offense. If anybody remembers that game, please verify that I'm not BSing everybody here. Cane, do you like sugar cane? I'm not a sweets guy. Like, picked off by Darius Slay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not a sweets guy. Like, I remember going to lunch every day, and I was flipping nutty bars for slices of pizza and cheeseburgers and Swiss cake rolls, oatmeal cream pies. Yeah, I'd bring that stuff to school, but I just wanted to trade food. And that's what I did. Mini corn dogs, pizza dippers. Which are basically just cheese sticks and pizza sauce. Not really a lunch. It's not exactly a meal. But yeah, I don't even eat cake on my birthday. Although I will settle for an ice cream cake. I like ice cream cake. Ice cream's awesome. During the summer, I eat more ice cream, but as far as like a candy bar goes, I don't buy candy bars. I get candy for like Halloween and Christmas, and that's about it. Does that answer your question? How old are you, like 28? Come on now, you don't look at me and think, wow, that guy is 28. You look at me and you're like, wow, I wonder if that guy's hit puberty. I look like I'm 16, but I'm 24. At least I think I still look really young. But when I see high schoolers now, it's like, wow, I'm surprised you can walk. High schoolers now look so young. But as was the case when I was a high schooler, I thought that we all looked so young. We're not aging anymore in the face at a young age. So Zeke returned. That's bad news for us. Cole Beasley with the touchdown, and we're still being shut out. Papa John's just opened a store near me. I have never had Papa John's pizza because there isn't one near me. I've never had their pizza. I want to get better at making homemade pizza, but I suck at it. I can't nail the crust. Which reminds me, I was going to buy a pre-made crust today, and I forgot to pick it up. I was at the store and everything. Great. Alright. We are still not on the board. We got a first down, though. 3rd and 1. Let's watch. So this is what I envisioned for this series. Very, very casual and conversational. Hey, someone mentioned that game that I forgot about. That Tommy Maddox game? I'm pretty sure Maddox had to have been the Steelers quarterback at that point. Or something. Man. The Falcons beat Carolina 63-10 on the bottom line. I missed that. That's a lot of points. What's your favorite kind of pizza, Kane? Stuffed crust pepperoni, I think, is unbeatable. As far as like a brand goes, I don't really have one anymore. I prefer New York style pizza overall. It's the most flavorful to me. I used to be big on deep dish, but then I think I just got tired of so much dough. I just wanted more flavor in my life. So I became more of a Brooklyn style guy. And I've had pizza in Little Italy in Manhattan. It was solid, I'd say. New York pizza is the best. I have not tried Chicago pizza, so I'll give it a shot. That St. Louis stuff, though, get out of here. Do you watch NASCAR, Kane? I do not. I like X Games, you know, like, if I were to watch, like, a trophy truck race, that might be a little bit more fun. Kane, important. Pineapple on pizza, that's a no-go, because the pineapple juice flavors everything it touches, and that's a big problem for me. Pineapple's good on its own, but I just don't want it on pizza. Opinions on Eric Decker getting cut. Well, I missed that. But I saw people talking about Decker and wanted me to talk about Decker. And I'm like, why are you guys wanting me to talk about Taylor Decker? He's a tackle. What's there to talk about right now? But Eric Decker got cut. That's pretty crazy. I guess the Jets are not going to spend any money this year. They know it's not going to go well. Come to Italy and I'll offer you a real pizza at a real pizzeria. I have to at some point. I gotta go see what it's all about. What is your favorite TV show? My favorite TV show is Psych. It's not on the air anymore. It might air reruns, but Psych was a really good show. When I finished high school, I got into the whole like legal cop drama genre, so stuff like Law and Order, NCIS, and then the more lighthearted stuff like Psych and Suits. Especially, I love those shows. So I really love courtroom stuff for some reason. It should bore me and it doesn't. Nice throw, Manziel, the Golden Tate. Yeah, David Harris got cut. I did see that. Yeah, if you haven't watched Suits, it definitely gets my stamp of approval. It's really funny. It's got a great cast of characters. And it's quite suspenseful. But Psych, especially if you like comedy, Psych is the way to go. It's got really good writing and, again, really good characters. You watch Better Call Saul. I have not. I don't stay up on TV very well. Kane is a Judge Judy fan. I don't like watching the real court stuff. I like watching the scripted stuff. Unless Judge Judy is scripted, and I didn't know that. Because I always wondered, like, why do they got a camera in there showing it on TV? Like, who's signing up? What county you got to be in? What courthouse is that to where you're settling these disputes on television? What a throw, and he almost caught it. That was phenomenal. I don't know how that stuff works. That was great. Have you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I have not. I have not before. Handoff. Amir Abdullah gets the first down. Favorite character on Suits? Oh, man. Oh, come on. Don't. You're telling me I gotta, like, control this play now? We got Johnny from the broadcast cam hitting Ebron, who drops it. Favorite character on Suits, man. Oh, I really like Louis Litt. He's really funny. Whoops. But Harvey's great. And so is Mike. Manziel on 3rd and 10, fires, and it's nearly picked off by Barry Church in the end zone. 4th down. Please tell me you're going for it here. I do not want to watch a field goal. I see Abdullah out there. It's good to go. If you go to jump, you can watch the whole possession instead of hitting sim next play. I'll have to check that out. That throw got knocked away, so we're still getting shut out in this thing. Where am I needing to go then? Jump to next play. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about because I can't figure it out. But we're going to lose this game, it appears. Favorite sight character? Well, you gotta love Sean Spencer and Gus and Lassie. But I also think Chief Vic is a very good character. I think Henry is a phenomenal character. He's an awesome get off my lawn type dad. $15-0. Cowboys score the victory. Kane, explain this stream so far in one word. Solid. Get that on a shirt one day. And I'm very happy we have not been dropping frames. I'm not afraid to jinx it because we're almost over. So we don't score anything in that game. And we are going to sim through week 17, and then we are done with this stream. Lance Adams or Reggie Shepard? I think Shepard has turned into the better receiver, but I wish I could have had Adams on a different Madden. I had him in the wrong version. I can't wait to build this offense a little bit, though. $470 viewers still. Kane need to make game day t-shirts? I should probably think about that. What? Saints took Shalik Calhoun off my practice squad. Hands off my players. I wanted Shalik Calhoun. I don't get him. How about Adam Gatsis? Nah. Alex Carter. If a man was a little bit higher, probably on a team in that point. We're not going super far in the postseason on this stream. We might get to the Super Bowl week, perhaps. Hunter Sharp. Route running's pretty low. Catching pretty low. George Farmer at halfback. Interesting. I'll sign him to the practice squad. Farmer was a receiver at USC. Very highly decorated player in high school, too, if I remember correctly. I just want to scout these quarterbacks at the same time. I'm not sure what we're going to do in the first round this year, but I want options. Cameron Bromley, pretty good quarterback from Stanford. All right, I want to finish up Staley sometime, remind me. Who is more underused, Keyston Holliday or Harmon Whitaker? Well, Holliday at least was a starting slot receiver. Harmon Whitaker is like a 2 or a 3 on a lot of teams, but he's our 4. Okay, so the season is over. We have a new injury. Hopefully it's not super serious. Manziel broke his ribs in the finale. He will not play in the playoffs, sadly, everybody, because we didn't make it there. So, we finished 5-11, last place in the NFC North, and the Vikings were the best team in the NFL, 15-1. Wow. So who's picking number 1 then? The Browns will pick first. We will pick somewhere in the 5 to 8 range at 5-11. So we'll have a chance to get an impact player. The Browns, the worst team in the NFL. Vikings, the best. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. Did we win any awards? Well, 25th ranked offense. We had the 28th ranked defense. 24th in points scored. 26th in points allowed. That is the definition of mediocre, everybody. So, Rodgers is your league MVP. Mike Zimmer, Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year is Aaron Rodgers. Defensive, Luke Kuechly. Offensive Rookie is Zeke Elliott. Defensive Rookie, Jalen Smith. Rodgers, best quarterback. Peterson, best running back. Then Julio, Alex Mack, Olivier Vernon, Luke Kuechly, Josh Norman. Andrew Sendejo was second best DB. I gotta see what kind of world we're living in here. So they did this with not the greatest quarterback play. Adrian Peterson, though, had a phenomenal season and 17 touchdowns. Leading receiver, Stephon Diggs. And defensively, how did Sendejo do it? 13.5 sacks here, 13 for Griffin, 9 for Linval. Andrew Sendejo, 5 interceptions. 5 for Rhodes, who was also in the top 5 there. That's how it gets done there. So let's see our awards here. Or our stats. Manziel, 11 touchdowns, 10 picks. So Johnny comes in, helps hold things down a little bit, but obviously he's not going to be a quarterback of the future for us. Amir Abdullah comes shy of 1,000 yards. We were very inefficient elsewhere on the ground. He had 5 fumbles, 8 touchdowns. Anquan Bolden led us in receptions, but Golden Tate did so in yards. Again, shy of 1,000. Big year, though, for Eric Ebron. That's nice to see. What is his contract situation? Pretty sure that this is his last year. So, Amir Abdullah adds 475 more in the air. Very productive. Love to see that. Abdullah is a player I want to build around. Defensively, 144 tackles for Levy and Whitehead. Ziggy Ansah does get double-digit sacks, but we're not getting very much elsewhere. Ashawn Robinson gives us 3.5. Kerry Hyder gives us 5. We'd like to see more here from like Devin Taylor, but he only had 1. Interceptions, big play Slay gets 4. Nevin Lawson gets 2. Handful elsewhere. Did not get a ton of turnovers, though, as a team. How about league leaders? You know what? We'll get to league leaders next time. I just want to kind of set the stage for the offseason a bit. Let me sim the wild card round, as I need to re-sign quick. How's Caldwell doing here? Expires in 2018, 2016. So I need to just make him an offer. Could have drafted Ansah, took Deion Jordan instead. And you trade up for him, not just selected him. You spent multiple picks on Deion Jordan. It was a trade up, correct? So, first round of the playoffs are over. And we had Pittsburgh defeating San Diego, New Orleans over New York, Tennessee beats KC, and Green Bay defeats the Seattle Seahawks. Just want to check out some of these stats. How did Rodgers do against the Legion of Boom? 3 touchdowns, 347, no picks, no sacks. That is clean. That is good. Off-season stream, I'm not sure what day it's going to be, but sometime this week still. Hopefully maybe like the weekend or later this week. I'll have to see how things unfold for me. New Orleans 41-20 over the Giants, and the Saints seem to have played pretty good defense, allowing very few yards. Let me sim the divisional round, just so we see every playoff team go through a game. Oh, God, yeah, the 98 Vikings after a 15-1 season. I was not a Vikings. I didn't watch them at that point. I was like 6 years old when they were in 98, so I did not experience that type of heartbreak. The Gary Anderson field goal. His first miss of the year. What? No, the Saints beat the Vikings 45-14. What happened, Minnesota? Your defense is so good. Bradford throws 4 picks in the playoffs? Who even picked him off? Delvin Breaux, Vaccaro, Bell. Well, there goes that. Packers 51, Falcons 45, 621 yards. Rodgers threw 521 and 5. Unreal. 3 touchdowns for Devontae Adams, 3 touchdowns for Jacob Dammy. Who gave up those passes? Trufant gave up 6, Collins 5. That tells you right there where a lot of it went. Oakland wins against Tennessee, 24-8. Mariota passes for 1 touchdown. Carr gets 2. Crabtree had a big game. And the Steelers defeat the Patriots. Down goes New England. 3 touchdowns from Brady, not enough to beat Big Ben and the Steelers. Le'Veon rushes in for 2. I wonder if there was a defensive touchdown in this game, because there were 2 fumbles by the Patriots. There was. William Gay had a recovery touchdown, and that was probably the difference in this. So, okay, why don't we leave things here and then we'll sim the rest of the playoffs when we return. We will continue to finish off this year and then go through the offseason with our Lions for the first time to work on building this roster. So, that will bring this season to an end, everybody. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me. I appreciate it. It was a very fun, laid-back stream, and I can't wait to do it again. This is the kind of stream series that I have wanted to do. This was a fun stream, and I hope that you had a good time along with me. Subscribe if you have not yet here to my channel, and also check out my second channel, youtube.com/MrHurricaneLP. I posted Twins franchise before I went live here, so if you missed that because you're watching this, go watch that now or sometime. Just catch up on the series. It was a fun episode. And then, what else is there to say? Probably not a whole lot. Tomorrow on the channel, I'm not sure what all you can expect, to be honest, because I need to work on the next Chargers video. So that might not be up until Thursday. But I appreciate you spending some time here. Please leave a like on your way out. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. The live streams or the videos. That bell notification can be very helpful. So I'll see you all next time with my next piece of content. Until then, have a great